Okay, we're back. Are we back? I think we're back. Let's see if we can get back. Still opening up some things. Yeah, I think Meld Studio has like a memory leak. It runs like great, but then it like slowly is getting worse and worse. Let's see. Let's go back to our music. And we are activated on chat. Chat, if you can hear me, go ahead and sound something off just to make sure that messages are coming through. Okay, thank you, sparkly dark matter. The best kind of dark matter. Alright, I'm going to fire up activity monitor real quick so I can keep an eye on this. Man, I'm even like stripping everything out and not running hardly anything. Okay. Alright, alright. It appears okay. Now I gotta open up my stream deck. And we're going back to Picotron. You better not crash again. I'm gonna be upset. Okay, perfect. How's the audio levels? Is the music too loud or too quiet? Yes, Stream Elements. I know I'm live. Thank you for letting everybody know. Okay, perfect. Cool. Good to know. All right, so we've got X1 and X2. Y1 and Y2. So we want to pull hitbox X1. So over here, this actually needs to be X1. Y1. Actually, no, because this is going to be a width. This isn't a coordinate 1 and a coordinate 2. So that's going to be X1. We don't need a plus 0. That's silly. Why would you add 0 to something? Hitbox dot... Hold on, hold on. Let's think through this. Why am I using the last X coordinate for my hitbox? We should, let's see, we do the updates. That's gonna, okay, that checks for collisions? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We need to move and then check for collisions and then move back. Yeah, so we don't need to do that here. Check for collisions needs to be done not in the actor update. It needs to be in the post update. Because we need to move and then update our collisions. And then check collisions. Get our collisions, and then we'll reset our position if we are colliding. All right, so with that in mind, the pre-update, it's gonna get our, that's gonna set our last stuff. That's fine. And then our actor post update, we need to put into here. So we've got the update. And then we have post update. I think I should probably keep these separated. Let's put this just in line so we can actually see what's happening. Actor dot pre-update self, and then we'll do actor stuff, and then more actor stuff. All right, and did we break things? We probably did. Yeah, we were messing with this. Okay, so with this, we want, I don't know why that was using last X and last Y. That's totally not what it needs. We want self.x plus self.hitbox.x. So that's going to take the current dog's X position, X position, and then it's going to add 0 to it because it's the top left corner. And then it's going to take the dog's Y position and add 3 to it. Yeah, so it makes this little offset for the box. All right. So let's do that for the Y as well. Self.hitbox.y. Let's see here. And then x2 is going to be the same thing, self.x, but we're going to add the width of the sprite would be fun if it was dynamic and we weren't using manual hitboxes, but we're going to use manual hitboxes. So we're going to do self.hitbox.width. And y plus self dot hitbox dot height. Oops. All right, we can't find hitbox. Why can we not find hitbox? Should be self.hitbox right here. Why are we doing, let's see. Are we not passing inheritance correctly? This is passing the actor into here. Maybe it has to do with that. Do we want self.update? Alright, then it has a problem finding self. I'm so bad at this stuff. Any idea, Sparkly Dark Matter? Self. So this is running actors update hitbox, which is here. And we're passing our actor into it. But when we do the dog, no, nothing. I know nothing. It's okay. I appreciate you. So when we do actor.update, we're passing self into it. So we're passing the dog as self into it. And then when we do actor update here, am I doing that down below? I am not. Actor.update, which means just run this in here from the actor, and then we're going to pass our dog as self into it. That might have been it. Okay, that's a different error. All right, and we're making it inwards. All right, hitbox W. Did we rename these? Oh, width and height. Okay. Width and height. All right, and then what's the problem? Okay, check tile collision. All right, so it's trying to do other stuff that we don't want to do at the moment. So we're doing check collisions here. And then under collisions, we're checking tile collisions. All right, so let's turn that off. We have dog. We don't have the bounding box. But that's probably because we need to update our draw function to point at the right stuff. So yeah, we don't want to do self.hitbox. We want to do hitbox full. Still not doing it. Probably because it's supposed to be x1, y1, x2, and y2. Yep, there we go. And you can see it's actually the proper size now, too. I did Advent of Code like 3 to 4 years ago to learn a little Lua, and that was it. Oh, I don't know what advent of code is, but that sounds fun. All right, so I'm going to pull this guy out of here. And we're going to go into our debug. And we need to add a toggle. All right, there's our system FPS. There's our dog stats. And this is the camera toggle. And then that's the borders for the GUI elements. So let's paste our code here. Copy this. And we'll say, instead of debug show, if it's on, we're going to do a for loop. And if it's off, we're not going to do anything. We're going to say for act in all actors do. So we're going to grab every actor in the actors table. Pretty sure it's called actors. Yeah. And we're going to draw a rectangle. And we can get rid of do this, grab the actor's hitbox, and then we can protect against a potential no hitbox. So we'll say if act dot if not act dot hitbox full return. And actually, we can just say hit and that's self-explanatory enough. It doesn't need a comment. All right. Why aren't we drawing? That should be the same thing. What are those speech bubbles? What are you talking about? You're talking about these? In here. These little guys. This is an application that I made a while ago called Kiro Comments. And I'll show you how it works, actually. So Picotron has this cool thing where you can embed data into your code here, and the code editor will read it. So if I go to Kiro Comments, And we can do like, let's change who we want. Let's do Mr. Toast. And we can change the box size. We can make it there. We'll make it monocolored, peanut flavored with the Mondo font. And we'll make him think about it. And we'll say, I love butter. And then we can copy this to the clipboard and paste it in here. And it renders it as a comment. And you can kind of do this with a bunch of different stuff. So Picotron just supports pasting sprites. Like you can take any sprite. It copies that sprite data to the clipboard, and you can paste it in here, and it'll just render that sprite. And I used to use that, I still kind of do, for dumping sprites into to show like, if it's the dog, then I'll have like the dog icon there. That way when I'm scrolling through, I can tell easily where the dog stuff is or attacks or whatever. So it's just graphic data. So Kiro Comments will take this, when you do the copy, it converts it into a sprite, copies it to the clipboard, and pastes that sprite. But I also did another thing. I added some metadata. So here's the I love butter and the flavor and whether it's flipped and the font that I'm using and all that jazz. So you can actually come up here and copy a Kiro comment. Copy it and go to Kiro comment. Oops. Go to Kiro Comments and paste it. And it pastes it in here, and then you can like that's supposed to be F's. Different video games, and then I can copy that and put it back in here. Paste. It's a little hacky, but it's fun. And it's, I don't do all of my comments like that, but this debug library was one that I was sharing. And I like to put the Kira comments in for like instructions on how to use stuff, and just kind of makes it fun. But you can get it for free. It's on the Lexolawful BBS. But why is it not doing the thing? It should do it for all actors. The dogs are going into dog. So maybe we should just try dog for now. Nope, that's still not... Oh! I have to toggle it. It was working. Okay. Okay. And we're going to call this hitbox. And we'll give it a color of... Hitboxes are red. Let's give it a color of 8. Burp. There, now we can see our collision hitboxes. And it looks like we need to adjust them a little bit. Does the sprite for the dog really not go... I guess it doesn't go all the way up to the end. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's easily remedied. Let's go back to... Let's actually turn that there so we can protect against no hitboxes. And if we come down to our hitbox here, we'll just set our X to 1. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. since it's an odd number when you flip it. All right, well, if that's the case, I'm going to leave it. Because at least then, oops, at least then it'll be consistent. Or do I want to shrink it? Width down to 10. Yeah, I think it's better to be safe on that side. Give the doggy a little overlap. All right, cool. Let's go back to collision. Okay, so we got the hitboxes working. And let's see, where's our updates? We're getting the last update, or the last X and Y. We're moving, and then we're checking collision. So now that's gonna work fine. Let's do all right, tile collision. If tile collision is on, then where is tile collision being run? Self-check collisions. Post update. Okay, so we do need to... All right, so as long as we run dot post update or dot update and then self, then it's pushing the dog through as self. And we are doing that up here. Actor dot update self. So that means self here should go to check collisions. It's going to look at the dog's check collisions, but check collision doesn't exist, so it's going to default back down to the actor's check collision, which is this. And then this is going to look for the dog's tile collision. Nope. Dog.tile collision is a flag, which should be tile collision equals true. And if so, it's going to run check tile collision, the dog's check tile collision, but there isn't a dog's check tile collision, so it's going to roll over to the actor's check tile collision. And we can test this by doing an assert. Assertion failed. Okay. Because there aren't any other actors except for the dog. All right. Now remember, this is old Picotron, or Pico 8 code. So we need to scrub through this and get it up to modern Pico 8 standards. So we're going to do, let's see, let's read through what it's doing already and see if we need to mess anything up. Collision mask, self.tile mask equals 1, 2, 16. Oh, this is actually pulling collision code from Legendables, because that's what the wall, half wall, and water is. We don't need water. half walls were like things you could attack over, and walls were things you couldn't attack through. But this is a survivor's like, so your attacks are going to go everywhere and anywhere. So we might not even need a collision mask, but we're gonna stick with it for the time being. Where are our tiles? There they are. And this one we're going to use the red mask. We're not going to worry about that one for now. So 1 is for wall, impassable. Local flags, get collide flags, self hitbox, TX. We just want full. Because we're not doing a... I had different tile collision hitboxes and like enemy hitboxes and player hit, like there's just different ones. I'm just going to stick with one hitbox for now. And then a map layer. The map layer is here. This is just map. So we're checking it against a map. We need to... world, maybe? Map event layer. So we want to do it against the map event layer, which is this layer. So, local flags equals get collide flags, collide tile flags from the hitbox and the map layer. If the flags and self.tile mask don't equal 0, then we reset our X. And then we... oh, TX and T. What we do need tile X and tile Y. I forgot about that because otherwise you can't push against... you can't press up against the walls and move into them. You can't move diagonally. You need to check the collision separately. Okay. So we're checking our X coordinates. We're checking our map layer. Then we reset the X. We reset the Y. Sprite collide. Get collide tile sprite. Check sprite collisions. I don't know what this is for. Check collision on X-axis. Beep, 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 beep. All right, think. Think. We need to... we need to update these hitboxes. And then we also need to probably draw them as well. Yeah, we need to check and see what this function is as well. Get collide tile flags. So update hitboxes. This is going to be tile X. And tile Y. All right, so this one is not going to we don't want it to move on one axis. So we want to use, this is going to move on the x-axis, but then use the last for the y. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. And we're going to do the same thing here. All right, let's go back to our debug. And we're going to call this full. And we're going to call this one TX, TY. All right. And so that's going to be red for the primary one, and then let's do orange and yellow. Actually, let's make it green. And I do like the idea of keeping this TX and TY. All right, and we need to get rid of that. Yeah. Let's block this off for now. That's what happens when you invert something. Yep, right there. All right, so you should notice that when he walks to the left, see how there's like a little bit of yellow? Because the yellow one's peeking through. And if we go up and down, the yellow is lagging behind. Cool. Now, let's come down here and let's comment you out and you, and let's just focus on this one. Get tile collide flags. What is this? Maybe under tools? Nope. World, maybe? Nope. Menu. Subscreen, splash screen. I wonder... is it a helper function? Nope. I bet it's in Legendables. Let's go take a look in there. Let's look in map. Init rooms, probably not in here. This is more map and room stuff. Yeah, that's not tile collision. What if it's just in further down in the actors? No, it's not. Only color tables designed dialogue drops using GUI enemies. This was the kind of function that I would put in like my tools. Hey Sailor, what's going on? Oh, thanks. I posted it somewhere. It might be on the Picotron Discord. I don't remember if I put it on there before I left, or it might be on the Lazy Devs Discord too. If you wanted it, you can have it. I think I might have even posted about it on the Lexalawful BBS. Map. Maybe world? That doesn't sound right. No. Where is it? Tools. I bet it's in here. Yep. No worries. How you been? I saw that you posted a couple games on itch. I've been meaning to go and play them. Your matcha one and your what was the other one called? It was like Wordle. Or Wordle was the matcha one, and then there was another one that was... Like I said, I didn't play them, but I saw the cover art. All right, tools, and let's grab this. Copy you into our actors, and let's just make another helper function. Alright, so this is going to take the hitbox and a player map, tile width, tile height. Am I doing 12? I think I am. Yeah, I'm doing 12. Get tiles under the hitbox. Check collision for all tiles under the hitbox. Get the map tile. Return the flags tile, X, tile Y, and tile number. Otherwise, we return 0. This may work now that I just plugged that in there. Update hitboxes. Alright, let's try. Nope. What are we stuck on? Oh. This needs to be X1, X2, Y1, and Y2. Nope. All right, hitbox. What are we calling for a hitbox? Hitbox underscore TX. Isn't that what we're calling it? Hitbox underscore TX. Is it a problem with passing self? Self is right there. Uh-huh. Ooh, 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 we're doing something. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, and it's not doing up and down because it's not, we're not checking Y collision yet. We're only checking on the X axis. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I'm good, just keeping busy with work. Hey, that's a good thing. Better to not have any work. They're tiny learning projects, basically. Didn't flesh out a full game on each one. Someone criticized me for posting them, I guess. I'm not a itch.io snob, so don't worry about getting anything that from me. But I also want to have my drawings on the Pico fridge. Nice. Is the Pico fridge just like what you call the front page, or is that like an actual thing that they're doing? Because that sounds hilarious. All right, let's undo this one here. TY, map layer. So this should be full tile collision. Oh, dang, look at that, guys. Look at that. Oh, I gotcha, I gotcha. Half-baked drawings. Oh, snap. Snappity snap snap. Amazing. And then what we can do is if we come up here to our TX2Y, yeah. Then what we can do is we can make a hitbox tile, and we'll set this to 2, and we'll set this to 9, and height, let's set height to, what do we say, 3, 4, 5, 6, about halfway down the tile, 6, and then height will leave the same. And then if we come back here and we update these with the tile hitbox, no, and that means we crash because of course we do. What did I do? Oh, no comma. Oh, of course. There we go. Now we kind of like, we poke up a little bit. And we poke across the edge. Ooh, I want to do 2 on that. But we don't poke on the bottom, because that would not make sense. That would be silly. So this is going to be X3. 8, like that. See, just kind of pokes off the edge a little bit. Makes it feel a little bit more natural. And that should be universal too. So if we change our, we go to scene, and we change our map to the other side, to home. Very cool. Very cool. That's the beauty of skeleton maps. Skeleton map. Doodly doodly. Oh, here we go. Let's see if... Let's see, background. Actually, let's go foreground. What? I didn't change any code. Oh, I did. What? There we go. Oh, and I can walk through there. Okay, nice. One of the nice side effects of like making your tile hitbox a little smaller is that fitting through gaps. You don't have to be like pixel perfect. So if we come here and we turn on hitboxes. See, now we see our red hitboxes for hitting enemies. But then that little one in the middle is for tile collision. I should probably... Let's make this 10 and 11. Yeah, that way it's green and yellow, something a little brighter. You can see both of them. Nice. I love skeleton maps. I do. Hey, that means I'm going to leave that tools there. We have tile collision done. That also means that we should have... Let's see if we go... Where is it? Where is another joystick? All right, we got joystick number 2. Plugging it in. And that means we should be able to go boop. And we got multiple players, and they both have tile collision. Hoopa dappa da da boo boo, yeah. Yay, the best of friends. The best of friends. Awesome. Friends. Good old Flops and Spike. All right. Sweet. We do have support for up to 8 players, by the way, currently. And that means it still should work well with vid mode 1. Oh, I wonder if this is going to check. Okay, so it doesn't check tile collision on the other maps. All right. So we're still going to have to tinker with this a little bit. Probably going to need to make some adjustments for the map moving around. Let's actually test that real quick. Let's go to vid mode 3. And let's turn off Spike. Let's go to our draw function. Init home, draw home, here it is. Wasn't it here? Yeah, it had to have been there. Oh, here it is. Update, not draw. Update. All right, so this one means it should... Okay. Since we're using the camera to move around, that's still going to work. But we're not looping coordinates. Will it eventually loop? No, because if I remember correctly, the dog's position just keeps moving. Yeah. So it's probably checking the coordinates of the dog and the map itself, but it's not looping. Okay. Interesting. That's a curious issue. So how are we going to do that? Probably need to look at, let's go down here. Because I've only ever, like with Legendables, the collision is all on one really big map. And it doesn't like load sections in, it just pops the player around on the map and adjusts the camera position. Where does this map looping happen? Load map, update map. That's all Poochie Survivor's old code. Draw map. Okay, so this is new. This is the draw cell. So that's just going to be under draw, which means it's probably under our draw function for the home screen, draw map, draw map. And then we're drawing the background map. And then the foreground, all the actors, particles, and then the foreground. Which means we might need an update map. What is this even doing? It's been a while since I did this. Cell size equals cell size or 1. Currently our cell size is nothing, so it's cell size of 1. Map pixel width equals map width times map tile width. Map pixel height. So that takes the tiles and multiplies it by the number of pixels in a tile to get the whole pixel height and width of the map. That makes sense. Get the cell that the dog is in. Cell X equals floor dog 1. Okay, so we're just manually calculating this for dog 1. Change dog 1 to multiplayer dog with focus. So later we can change which dog has focus. Well, but that's gonna... Actually, I think that's a non-issue. Even if both dogs are pushing the camera around, they can't be on separate screens. Yeah, this is just for drawing it. Okay. Draw map grid. You know, I think there's a solution in here that involves the size of the map and modulo. And as the dog moves in pixels in some direction, we can use modulo with the size of the map in pixels to loop the collision range. I don't know how that would work, but it sounds plausible. You know what I mean? So imagine if we go to carts, pieces, modulus. So if our map is 200 pixels wide, actually let's just say 240, which would be 120 would be 10 tiles wide, so this would be 20 tiles wide. And imagine that this here is the dog moving to the right, so his X position keeps going to the right till it hits 240. Blah, 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 and then it wraps back around to 0. So we would essentially say the dog's X modulo map width in pixels, and then use that to calculate it. Let's do a thing. Let's test this real quick. We're gonna go. Where's my test map? Map 4? Yeah. So here's what we're currently doing. And actually, let's do this. Let's go to our map 4 and let's paint some collision tiles on here. And I did that wrong, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Fix it. On the event layer, we want to put collision tiles. There we go. All right. Well, now that's actually interesting. Why isn't that colliding? All right, I don't know why that small map isn't working, but let's use a large one just for the time being. Not you, you. And let's remove that and that. And let's add some light to the foreground. There we go. All right. Okay, so we want the dog's X position to be moduloed by the map's pixels. So when we, where did we get that? That was under the world. HollowX just raided the channel with 6 viewers. Holy moly. Thank you so much for the raid, HollowX. I super duper appreciate it. I don't have any fancy stuff, but we'll do this. We'll go, you guys rock. You guys are cool. I'm so excited for the raid. I hope I don't disappoint you. Yay! How's that? You bet, friend. Thank you so much. We're doing some Picotron Gamedev. How did I do that? Oh, it's quite easy. I just go, yay! Oh, yeah. No, it's not hooked up to my face. It's little buttons. I don't have a fancy camera to be able to do face recognition stuff. Fun stuff. It's a little application called VideoTube Mini. Fun things. I'm trying to get my tile collision to work with a infinitely looping map. We're making a Vampire Survivors-like game called Poochie Survivors. There's actually a playable version of this for Pico 8 on the Lexalawful BBS. If you want to play kind of a version of it, and I'm making like the HD remake for Picotron. Hey, what's going on, S-Funk? I think that's debatable, one-time backstop. I think it's so debatable, I think I'm gonna moderate you. Band. Goodbye. That's okay. Bots are gonna be bots. I gotta get a bot to counter the bots. That's spoken like a true AI engineer. Fight fire with fire. Siri bot. Oh, okay. I'll have to remember. No, no, not Siri. Go away. I'm not talking to you. Go, get out of here. Came in with the raid party, but this is a cute looking game. Pico projects are interesting to me because of their limitations. 100%. And Picotron is like a wonderfully happy medium. If you've never messed with it before, it's kind of like an Amiga. It's like a full desktop. It's got like this snazzy little second desktop where you can snap apps into. It's got like more colors, and each sprite isn't on its own. Is like on its own sprite sheet. It's not like one massive sheet. The sprites are all individual. The music's a whole lot nicer. Well, I can't actually do that because I don't have songs on here. Oosh, you know what? Let me show you a taste of what we can do with this, because this is a relatively new project. I'm going to put this on hold for a second. Let's go to Legendables. This is like my crown jewel, and I'm not completely done with it yet. But this is what the tracker sounds like. Let's do this. Nope, not that one. Hey, thanks for the follow. It's got like a full-on synthesizer. This is for a Zelda-like that I'm making. It's a 4-player Zelda-like. Scooch my mouse out of the way. Still in alpha, but we've got like multiple items you can equip. 4-player split screen. But yeah, it's a 4-player couch co-op, so you can like, oops, that's the demo stuff. Didn't mean to do that. Whoops, whoops. And he's gonna die because I messed the thing up. But anywho, super fun stuff. That's Legendables. And then another one of the big projects I'm working on is it's called Salad Kingdom. It's a visual novel system that's based on the Princess Tomato game for the NES. And let me actually turn the music on because that's probably one of the best parts of the game. Sorry, the last thing I was working on this was the text box and getting it to word wrap and stuff like that, but we have like little buttons that we can click. And you're supposed to be able to, like, many growing seasons ago, blah, 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 blah. And then you can say, like, walk in that direction. And it goes beep, 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 beep. And it goes to the next room. And it's like a little visual novel Zork clone sort of a thing. But yeah, super fun stuff. And right now I'm just working on Poochie Survivors. Trying to get map tile collision working. We got the tile collision working, but when the map loops, the collision doesn't work on the loop. And that's what I'm trying to figure out now. I think... Let me turn our music back on. Yeah, so I think we can use modulo to loop the dog's X and Y. Well, yeah, that'll work. If we use modulo to loop it. Where do we need to plug that in, though? Okay, so we get the tile dimensions. Then we get the tiles under there. Then... tile X and Y. It's probably going to be here where we do hitbox X. We're going to have this moduloed. Modulo. Player X, Y. I'm going to do that here. Yeah, not a problem. I really love how self-contained it is. Thanks for the follow, S-Funk. I should probably update this here. I should probably make map pixel width and map pixel height a global. I love pixel art as well. Where do we load the maps? When we init a scene, load map. So we do have a load map function. Adjust map. Update map. Load map. Here we go. Alright, so let's do... turn these into globals. I do everything myself. So all of the tiles, all of the sprites, the monsters. I've been doing pixel art for a very long time. Like, I cut my teeth doing like Mario Paint on the Super Nintendo. It was like the first time I did pixel art. We're gonna equal 0, 0. I also do the music myself, and pretty much do everything myself. There's a couple tools that I use that I didn't make. Like OKPal is a really great extended palette maker, and I don't use the extra colors for my sprites themselves. I like to use Picotron's basic 32 colors here, but these are color table stuff. This is for like drawing light and shadow. So like for this is using this color and this color, and I pump them through this color table here, which is like a 2D array, kind of like a Pokemon type chart if you're not used to what 2D arrays are. And it's like, if we find this color and we draw this color on top of it, then what's in the middle is what gets drawn. And so it lets you do things like when you walk behind this light, it lightens up the dog, or makes him really bright. Because we're just doing that with, my map. See, like this? It's that yellow, that bright yellow tile. That's the light and shadow color table stuff. Do. All right, so where is my... Here it is. I want to grab this, and I want to establish these when we load a map. So right here. But it's not going to be a local. We're going to say map. Map. Pixel height. It's going to be the map height and then the tile width, tile height. That should be available by then. Yeah. Yeah. All right, good. That didn't break anything. All right, now when we come down to our draw map, we don't need to use any of this because we're calculating that above. We can just use the globals. Mapapa. And then here as well. Yeah, all right, cool. All right. So now that we have a map pixel width and a map pixel height, we can use that elsewhere. So if we come here, we can say local X1 mod. So like hitbox X1 modulode is going to equal hit box dot x1. This thing is floored, and I wonder if we need to keep doing that here, or if I need to move it up here. I'm not sure. We might need to look at that later. So hitbox x1 modulo map width, which should give us, you know what, let's make this a global real quick so that we can check it in our debug. X2 modulo and then Y1 and Y2. And that's going to be height. All right, and then in our debug menu, let's add that in here. This is going to be xmod. Nope. Yeah, x1 mod. X1 mod 2, 1 and 2 y 2 and 2. Oops. All right, so in our debug menu, I don't know why those are both the same, but we'll deal with it for now. So that means this should go all the way to the edge, but it should wrap around about right here. Ah ha ha, it does. Look at that. Oh, baby. That's awesome. Okay, and then if we go up, it should drop down to 0, about right there, and cross back over. Sweet. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So that means... this is probably something that we should track for each dog. Do we need to use this anywhere else? Let's think about this for a second. Because we might need, instead of calculating it as a local, well, it needs to be calculated every frame anyway. But we might need to, would we want to keep this as a property of the dog? Kind of like an X coordinate. We would have like a map relative X and Y, and then a global screen space relative X and Y. I don't know if we would need it. Because, okay, the only other thing we're going to need to collide with... Oh, no. Alright, actually, hold on. Okay, my brain's getting away from me. Let's think about this for a second. We're going to use this for colliding with tiles, because the map moves around. Now, objects are not going to loop. The map loops. The objects are not going to loop. So like experience orbs that are dropped on the ground or something like that. Those aren't, if they go off one side of the screen, they're not going to come back on the other. So those aren't going to loop. So we don't need to worry about using this for that kind of collision. I was thinking of, do we want to use it for like colliding with special tiles? It would just be in here, in the tile collision. I don't think we need it anywhere else. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't think we need it anywhere else. So we're going to go back to our debug. And we're just going to comment these out. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to make these locals. S-Funk and Mr. Toasty, do you guys do any game development? Like, have you worked on any Pico 8 or Picotron stuff? X1, X2, Y1, Y2. And then this here, I'm going to copy this just so that it's not destructive. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Ew. This is next level for you? I gotcha. It doesn't take too incredibly much. I've only been doing this. I like just hit my 2-year anniversary like October. I haven't been doing programming for a very long time. I've done pixel art and I've done like some level design for like some speed games and stuff in the past. I worked with a very, very small indie game company, and by very small I mean it was like my brother and a friend of his. And we were making iPhone games for a little bit, but it was like I did pixel art and I did level design, like maps, and that was kind of it. And it was really only for like a year or so. But I've always wanted to learn how to program and never figured it out until recently. But yeah, 2 years ago, I learned to program in Lua, and it's been awesome. It's been wonderful. I think this might be it. Let's turn on our hitbox. And let's try. Oh, that's doing weird stuff. Let's turn off our hitbox. You draw a lot of pixel stuff? That's cool. Look at that. Look at that collision. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you say my collision's complete? Wouldn't you say I'm the girl The girl who has all the collision. I've got bumping into the right walls aplenty. I've got bumping into the left walls galore. Now that's actually interesting because that one is clipping at 1 pixel. And this one here is like, that's way far in. That should not be clipping that far. Is that even on the original one here? Yes, it is. What happened there? That looks like a problem with the hitbox. Alright, so not that one. Is it respecting the hitbox? No, it's not. Why is it not? Hitbox tile. Maybe it's in the hitbox collision or hitbox updating thing. Hitbox X plus tile.x. XY width and height. XY width and height. Hitbox tile. That's so strange that that's running. Oh, that's because that's relative to the screen. It's not relative to the camera. It's doing that at the top too. What is going on there? X1, Y1, X2, Y2, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Maybe it is the rounding. Mentioned doing Advent Cone earlier to learn Lua. I was using Tick 80. I've heard cool things about Tick 80. I downloaded it, tinkered with it a little bit, and it was before I really learned how to, like, was still learning how to program, so it was way over my head, but I'd like to revisit it sometime. And figured it could do some visualization, so I turned a few puzzles into minigames. Oh, that's fun. Feel free to post links to your stuff here. If you feel like it. Y1 max 1. It might be that it's already... Oh, we're trying to get a tile. We're converting the map in pixels. And then converting it back into tiles. Interesting. So... Modulo player hitbox for graphic map. Yeah, because it looks like it's just like 1 pixel on the edge and 1 pixel on the bottom, but then it's like using that same 1 pixel for there, but not on there. That's like 4. It's so strange. Hitbox full. And do some indenting to kind of make it a little easier to read. X plus hitbox tile X. My hitbox tile act. Let's do this. Let's copy this. And let's go 0, 0, 12, and 12. No, 11, because it's 0 to 11. Off by 1. Uh-huh, see? Okay. So there is something going on. This is like the max size of the... Oh, that's interesting. So there is some sort of rounding happening. Interesting. What could be doing that? Well, it's not that, because that's the exact same thing. Now, the modulo is going to give a remainder. Huh. I feel like there's a math thing going on here, and I don't know what it is. So normally what you would do in these instances is you would try to make something that helps you visualize what's going on. Because once you can visualize and see what's happening, it's a lot easier to fix it. So right now... I'm going to swap this back to the global. If by stuff you mean one, I should have written directions because I forgot how to play. Hey, Smelly Fish Sticks and Unused Taco, welcome, welcome. We're currently trying to get tile collision working on a wrapping map. What did I do? Oh, that's what I did. That's supposed to be a Y. So we have... Oops. The hitboxes currently don't work. I don't know why I'm turning them on. But we have tile collision, but it's not supposed to be like the bottom left corner of the dog, which is what it is. But the trick is that it's wrapping the map around. And it is working when the map wraps, but for some reason the collision box is just like the bottom left pixel. And I don't know why. I suspect it's like a rounding error. Let's go to... Oh, I didn't turn those back on. Oh, hold the phone. I remember seeing something now. Yeah, these are identical. X1 is at 48, and X2 is supposed to be the bottom right corner of it. Why are those the same? Same thing with the Y. Okay. See, now that we've visualized it, we kind of know what's happening, or at least something's going on. Oh, X... Nice. Okay. Yeah, it's because this is supposed to be a 2 and that's supposed to be a 1. Wrapping map fun. In my games, I usually draw the sprite with a half negative offset, so the hitbox is still at 0, 0 offset, but the sprite is in the middle. Yeah, that's a cool idea. I've thought about doing that with other stuff. That's pretty great. All right, so this should be it. Yep. Okay. And if we go back to the dog and we turn on the clamped in, let's go. When we do this, I wish this worked. But it's not doing it because of the camera. Yep, that's what it is. Okay, all right. But what we do have, though, is we've got corner collisions, and they're offset, so like our little nose peeks over the corner. Our feetsies don't. And when we go off to the edge of the map, bam. Bam. Sweet. So what we ended up doing was using modulo right here. We took our hitbox coordinates and we moduloed it by the pixel width of the map. And that worked. So that is fantastic. And that is on an actor basis too, so that means it will work for all players, which we can actually test real quick. Let's go to the dog. Le dog. And collision. Collision. Awesome. Woo! Woo! Amazing. Whee! All right. Perfecto. Now for some chocolate milk. And all right, so that is tied up under our get tile collision flags. I think we aren't going to do different types of tile collision, so we're just going to do collide tile. Where is it? Get collide tile right here. Sweet. And we're not doing sprite collision anymore. And this one, let's see. Let's do test. Let's test and see if we can let's make another. So we can have different types. We'll call this T for test. And if we drop that onto a map, say event layer directly under the door. Yep. Wait, did I do that right? Nope, that's the original flag. This one here. Yep. Okay. So we can use multiple flags. So those are the bit fields. This is pretty cool. You can use the OR operator and then check if it doesn't equal 0. So we set our tile mask to 1 or 2. And then if our flags, so we get our flags, if our flags and our tile mask don't equal 0, then we reset our X position. Same thing with our Y position, and it kind of bumps us backwards. Cool. Cool. Heck yeah. Let's go back to our design doc. We have tile collision done. And all right, what do we want to do next? That's a pretty big one to mark off the list. Player collision. I don't know if I want to do player collision yet. Yes, barking. I need to fix it because right now it just makes everything bark and it's using like old bark code. Sure, we can fix barking. Let's go to the dog. Well, so it's like if I turn on all of these dogs and one player barks, they like all bark at the same time. It's just off of a single button press. Where is the barking happening? Barrel. No, Carl. Come on. Bark. There we go. We need asynchronous barking, that's true. The cat does meow. Do I have a sound effect for the cat to meow yet? No. No, not yet. But to that effect, if we do this, let me pull up Pico 8. Yeah, every dog is supposed to have its own bark. Let's go Pico 8. Oh, and you're not gonna... Are you going to be silly? Please hold. Pico 8. Pico 8. There we go. And if we load Poochie survivors.p8, that can't be right. There we go. Why? Uh-oh, Wavelink decided to go duty. No, the stream was doing so good. I was gonna show you, because like each one of the dogs has their own bark. And hers goes meow, meow. But I can't import any sounds or music from I can't import sounds or music from Pico 8 into Picotron yet, so I kind of have to recreate them. Oh, great. Hold on, I'm going to kill Wavelink real quick. Why is Wavelink having issues? I just need a new computer. That's all there is to it. Oh, there we go. Now it's coming through. You'll hear the Pico 8 music. Would I ever consider building a computer? I mean, I have in the past. I just don't enjoy it. Anywho, that's Pico 8. So that's the sounds. I know you're more of a Mac guy, but making a Hackintosh would be a cool thing. I like that XP bar. It looks crazy different compared to the BBS version. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of new stuff in this, like that I haven't put up on the BBS. Like Sarge and Gus are whole new characters, and they have like brand new weapons and stuff. Sarge has the shock collar. And then, and then Gus, he's got the fire hydrant. That kind of lobs little water bombs. Fun stuff. Oh, dang it, I wasn't even showing you. Man, I'm an idiot. So Gus, his thing is he like lobs little water bombs. And then Sarge, his is the shock collar. I'm actually really proud of the effect of this thing. But the limitation is that it only goes like up and down. And then I think the next level or so it widens out. Yeah, there it goes. It's a little OP. Yeah, I think this is as wide as it goes. It might actually go a little wider, but yeah, 9 is the max. But I like the little charge up. I had a long stream, so I'm gonna grab some grub, but looks like a cool project you're working on. Hope it goes well. Thank you, Hollow. I super duper appreciate it. Are Hackintosh is still a thing now that Mac stopped Intel support? Maybe. Probably. I don't know. It's all ARM now, though. We can't see it. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. They're kind of. It just never advanced past that era, so they're still around. You just use older hardware. Ah, interesting. You said interesting, too. Twinsies! If you don't heal on a level up... I see you don't heal on a level up. Yeah, I changed that. Never wanted to take defense or health up recover. Yeah, the original version had it so that you you healed every level up, and it just like level ups kept happening so much that it just kept healing you so much, and so I added a heal item. It's a lot more rare, and it occurs more often when I kind of use it as an empty item, like if your items and weapons are full, and you can't get any new ones because you don't have any more slots, it'll throw in a food to heal you up. Yeah, maybe it does require a photosensitivity warning. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I the thing is like I got so excited about weapons and like new dogs and new items and stuff that I ended up just making more and more and more, and I didn't invest any in like the ending screen and the bosses and the enemy patterns, and so I just kind of ran out of tokens, and all of the cool stuff just kind of like is just sitting there unreleased. If I want to I probably like cut 3 or 4 of the dogs out and then work on the enemies some, but I kind of just lost steam, and so now I'm planning on just rolling all of that into this Picotron version where I don't have to worry about tokens. All right, what were we doing? We were looking at barking, weren't we? So one of the things with barking is I don't know much about the synthesizer. So let's make just some minor variations. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's call this one flops, spike, what are the other ones' names? Flop, spike. Yipper. And spot. Frank. Beans, the cat. And then Gus with 2 S's. And then Sarge. Oh, something you might not realize too. So the sprites, like let's go to flops over here. I actually updated the sprites. They're very subtly larger. So if you notice, this guy here, his body is like just a little bit smaller. It's like it's close enough where it's almost indistinguishable, but it actually is a decent bit bigger. And then I baked in the outline, whereas in this one I did like a little outline sprite drawing trick. But I did that for all of them. And I think they actually turned out really good. I think they look really nice, comparatively speaking. All right, now this one is lower. Oh, hold the phone. Oh, not the nose is a mouth? If it was a mouth, it would be like this. But yeah, I see what you mean. Like this one probably works a little bit better because it's like further down and it touches the bottom of it. But there's only so much variation to make like different shape, like head shapes. Him with Gus, I brought it down here to like make it look like jowls, and it probably would stand better to like make his legs a little darker, but it works well enough when it's moving around. Oh. Maybe I can just use the same one here. But maybe drop the... Let's try... I'm gonna turn on... Can you hear those? There it goes. So that's that one. It's pretty close. That one's sharper. And let's see this one. No. Where's my... No, not that one. Trying to find it. That's super. There we go. It's just, it doesn't punch as much. I wonder if I can tweak the instrument a little bit. I don't know much about this stuff. I just kind of turn dials. Oh. Well, that's definitely Yipper right there. Interesting. I'm being flooded with spooky Twitch audio ads and stupid layout stuff. I'm gonna listen to some music and try to get some work done. Glad to drop by for a second. Thanks for hanging out, Smelly Fish Sticks. I super appreciate it. Good luck on getting your work done. I wish you could click in these and put like numbers in. It's just so fiddly. I don't understand it. All right. I want it like bassier. I'm gonna change this song. Yeah, it's got a pretty robust DAW. I just don't know all of this stuff. Yeah, pretty much that's what I do, just fiddle with buttons. Well, that's a lot of interesting stuff. I don't even know, man. I need to get Chase in here. He's doing something. That's not doing anything. It's almost got like a harmonic on it that I don't want. Okay, well, we want that on. It's distorting it. This one's going through an envelope. What if I put this one on an envelope too? Yeah, I don't even know. I'm gonna do this instead. I'm gonna take this one, and I'm gonna do this, 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 this. And we're gonna go. And then for this one, we're gonna go. And then for this one, we're gonna go. And then for this one, we're gonna go. Eh. Nope. Eh. Eh. There we go. And then this one, we're going to make it longer. We're going to crank the length out to like here. And we're going to go, and we're going to drop the speed down to like, nope, like 2. And we're going to go, there we go. And beans is 1B. And we're going to add just a little bit of something on beans. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? There we go. Okay. Let's try this one. I want it to be a little fuzzy. And actually I want this to be a little more. I want it elongated here in the middle. All right. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe. Too much separation. I want to bring that together a little bit. Ooh, I like that. Oof. I don't know what that bassiness is. Nope. 0, please. And then back in here, let's set our speed back to 1. That'll work. And then let's get our volume envelope up here too. There we go. And then let's do Gus. Gus was like, ooh, right? Gus is going to be like, oops. Oops. Up higher in the middle. So we've got and then Sarge is going to be this one. I did something interesting. I went like this. I'm just copying the waveform. I could actually probably pull this up. I'm copying the waveform from over here on Pico 8. And then we like dropped these down interspersedly. Interesting. Maybe not so much. What if we bring it all up an octave? Yeah, that kind of works okay. That'll work enough for now. I'll figure out how to duplicate these later. All right. And this one we'll do 17. We'll just go ahead and apply there. Stuff. And then this one is 18. I don't like that one. Where is our yipper over here? There it is. It looks like this one just it doesn't trail up at the end. Got a little sharp little rise. That's really fast, like it's a really quick arise. Arise, and then it drops down. All right, and then we need to get rid of this. That's better. That one sounds more like a squeaky toy, though. There we go. And then spot. That's going to take instrument 19. And we'll take off that multiplier. And then Frank, 1A. And we need to fix this one. And that's what it's supposed to look like. So this is like up, down, up, down. This was supposed to be down, up, down. So we're about right here. I want a little bit sharper of a descent. Dwell a little bit. And then come up. Hang around the middle. Drop off sharp. And then taper out. This one, I think, needs a little bit more length. Let's spread this out. There's a little bit of a plateau here. And then it drops off. There we go. Close. Pretty close. Close enough to work with. Alright, so now these sound effects, actually let's think about where we want these. I'm going to grab these and we're going to cut those and we're going to drop them in at 64. So 64 through 71. Alright. Now under dog, we have, do we have bark stuff in here? Bark sound effects is just 0. So if we do that, but if we go to sound effect 5, okay. So what I think this is going to take is, let's see, the player ID. So this is going to be 64 plus, what is my player ID? -1. Okay, so the player ID starts at 1. So that means I want to do 63 plus underscore player underscore ID. All right, and now we need to make, we need to find the bark logic. Init bark. If we press the button, we init bark. And that's button 5? This needs to be the button for... Let me look at the manual real quick. Button. Button. Who's got the button? All right, button and then player. Returns the state of button B for player PL. Default 0 means player 1. All right, so where is our player index? Where are we stashing that? Sorry, I thought I heard something. Player index. Do I have a player index? Player ID or 0. Okay. So I can just pull player from that. And it looks like this is... one based. Where's my dogs? Where's my dogs? Okay, yeah, so that does start at 1. So the player is 1 based, the gamepad is 0 based. Default 0 means player 1, so I want to use gamepad. So down here on our button initiate bark, we want button 5 self.gamepad. And that will check for the button for that gamepad. Now, if we do this... There we go. Woof woof. Bark bark. Nice. We got multiplayer bark logic. Bet you never thought you'd say that today. All right. Down. Multiplayer bark logic ensures we find the correct tree to bark up. Multiplayer bark logic is the name of my electronica band. I don't like this song. I'm going to change it. Come on, give me some good. There we go. Rework tile collision. We did rework tile collision. Bam. We can get rid of all that junk code. Health regeneration. Move this later. Okay. Okay. I am happy with this progress. That fixes the barks being in sync. That does not fix doing any sort of bark power triggers or anything like that. But we do have a dedicated function to it. So we have, where is it? Bark init, bark draw. Yeah. Bark init and bark draw. So when we init it, it starts. Let's see, sound effects, marks, channel has the cooldown, and then we do all the cooldown and logic and stuff like that in here. We could probably say add bark action triggers here, and we'll do that later. We got barking. We have 30 minutes left in the day, and I think the next thing that I would like to do is stats. I think I would like to work on dog stats, because we're already kind of in this area. Now, this is the previous dog stats. When I initialized the dogs, I had this big string of keys here. So the sprite number, the colors for the dogs, its bark sound, or yeah, sound effect, the item that it starts with, and then these are its stats. It's max HP, regeneration, magnet, attack power, defense, its leash sprite, and then its name. And then I would pair it with all of these. So like this is flops, and these are flop stats. So 100 health, 0 regeneration, 8 magnet, you know, stuff like that. And then I believe these are the animations. Walk up, walk down, sleeping. We've already got animations put in place, though, I think. If we go to the dogs, yeah, we got walk up, walk down, sleep. We've got all of these animations. So we have a whole new animation system already in place. And then it would build the dogs in the dog database. It would build dog 1, and then it would do 2 through 8, depending upon if they were unlocked with save data. It would build those dogs. And then this was the secret dog. And then it would set whichever dog you're at. So we can't currently change dogs. So having stat packs for dogs and being able to change between those stat packs is what we're going to want to do. So before we just had a single player and we had a single dog object, and then we would like dump from the dog's table into that dog object and just kind of run from there. But now that we have multiple players that can be multiple characters, we're gonna have to like we're gonna have the dogs on the dog table, but then we need to have, instead of like baking the sprites and everything into them, we need a way of like loading character data into a player object. Let's think about this for a second. So the character data needs to be stashed somewhere. I guess character, I was trying to think of dog because I'm already using dog for the player. It would probably be best if I didn't use dog and used player instead. But since we're already using dog, I don't want to rename all of that stuff. We might be able to rename that later. But characters. I think characters is a good naming convention for this. So when we spawn a dog, we're just doing it off of the player ID. And that's not good. Because we should be Let me think about this for a second. The player ID shouldn't really be necessary for choosing sprites and stuff. That should come from the character pack. But the player ID should be tied to the gamepad because it's the actual player playing things. So really what we should do when we spawn a dog is we should care about the joystick, like the player ID, that's going to control that dog. Fill this out with some default stuff. Like this stuff here shouldn't even really be a thing. This should like all be zeros. We already have the stats here, but these should all be zeros too. Name can just be name, that's agnostic. We do care about the player and the player ID for the gamepad and the collision. But then after here, instead of returning the dog, we should have a load character function. What's the name of our table here? Underscore dog. So we should have something like this that will then take that blank dog and dump a character stat pack into it. Except we should probably do that down here. This is not a great place for it to be. This will eventually get moved. But when we spawn a dog, we're essentially spawning dog 1 as player 1. And then dogs 1. And then character 1. Something like that. Dog. Not dogs. Dog 1. See, that should really be player, not dog. Yeah, I might need to yank that out and rename all that stuff later. But yeah, we should like spawn a player and then load a character into that player. Now our spawn dog function, let's see, it grabs a player ID, sprite equals graphics plus that, dog equals dog new, which is going to do this and grab the properties, which is this table down here. And then it's going to set the meta table. It's going to run any init, add it to the actors, add it to an alternate table if there is one, which there is. It's called dogs, or dog rather. Adds it to the dog table, and then it returns it. It shouldn't actually need to return it. Maybe it does. What did I do? What did I do? Oh, I did this, and that doesn't exist. Yeah. That doesn't need to. So yeah, we should be like creating a player. We should be spawning a player and then loading the character into the player. And then that way later, when we have a load character function, we can just change characters, and then it'll load that character stat pack into it. So let's do that. Let's make a load character function. Let's put it down here. So let's do load character. And it's going to take a dog and a character. Now, the character I think what we need to do is actually build these out in a table. And let's see, we want to do a table of tables because each of these is going to be its own character. So let's do, how do we want to do this? One is going to equal its own table. Yeah, can't spell. What are we getting stuck on? Oh, why are you not showing me the assert? That's one of the things I don't like about vid mode 1. Move you over there. Or vid mode 3 is that it truncates things. Yeah, so that did come up. Okay, so it did show 1. Okay, now we're going to need to match whatever is in here. So our basic stats are, let's copy them from up here. So name equals flops. Item 0. What else did we have down here? We had sprites. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to do animations. So let's do some organization for 8. I like that. Item HP, and this is walk speed. And then what did we use for bark up here? bark sound effect. Let's actually just grab all of this. Player and namepad, those aren't going to change. Okay. Okay. And we can just bake that into here. The bark sound effect is going to be... It's going to start at 64. Ooh, that's going to be a lot. And then we're going to need 8 of these. I'm wondering if we should put this in its own thing. And load character. Let's drag it right here next to us. And then we need to include it. Right. Now, let's see here. We need to grab these. And we need to grab these. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that should be all of them. And then we can grab Flops' stats. Actually, let's clean this up a little bit. The way you're doing this seems like it would make creating future characters really easy once you've got the framework fully implemented. That is correct. It isn't always the best thing to do. Sometimes you can waste a lot of time building infrastructure and then like over engineering stuff and never using it again. So you do kind of have to balance that. But yeah, like right now, this is just raw data. This is just like getting data in there. Let's see. We don't care about the sprite because the animation system will take care of that. Item. Actually, let's go back down here. We don't care about sprite. And let's get our commas to line up. What the heck is this? Let's get some fun music. There we go. Maybe I'll make a custom Poochie Survivors character when this is released. You know, one of the nice things about Picotron is if you're dealing with the cart, you have full access to all the source code and everything. So as long as I'm not a rascal and release this as a binary, you'd certainly be able to do that. It's one of the easiest systems to like hack stuff or like, you know, make mods, because you essentially can just like get in there and mess with the code. This is probably a little bit of a waste of time, but I like being able to read stuff clearly. I get really tripped up with syntax and being able to understand what's going on, so I take a little extra time to make sure that my code is formatted very clean and that it's like legible. Even now, you'll notice, like, coming back to this project after a little bit, I had a little bit of a hard time you know, figuring out what was going on. It took me a second to kind of get through stuff, and that's even with my clear code. So imagine how bad it would be if I didn't do that. All right. Color 1, color 2, color 3 is going to be 8, 2, and 2. Bark is going... bark, we actually don't need to worry about that because that's going to just be sequential. Item is going to be item 1. HP is 1... yeah, 100 is fine. We're now tracking max HP, so that's new. Regen is 0. Magnet is 8. Power is 0. Defense is 1. Leash, I'm going to worry about an entirely different leash system. Hold on a second. Alright, sorry, I'm back. Distracted by Discord messages. Okay. I thought somebody pinged me, but it was when my stream crashed, and so it started again as a second stream. All right, so defense leash. We're gonna worry about the leash on an entirely separate thing because that's like character correction or character selection stuff. We're just gonna make a whole new system for that. And then we'll come back and do the animations in a minute. Spike. This is going to be number 2. Colors are going to be 12, 13, and 1. Bark is going to be 65. Item is going to be 2. HP 100. 8. Power, defense. So far, all of these are the same. Three. Oops. Spike. Let's do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yipper. Colors are 9 and 4 and 1. Bark is 66. You know what? I should just do all these barks. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. And another thing that we could do is these are probably all 100 health. Because we're just going to start at full health. And then the item is also going to be sequential. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we got the colors, the bark, the item, 0, magnet is 8. I thought I had these stats like more spread out. Are these stats all the same? They are. Except for Gus and Sarge have 2 defense. Weird. I know Beans had way more magnet. I wonder if I just never implemented it. Oh well. I'll just stick with it. Flops, spike. Yipper. Spot. Sweet. Magnet 8. Defense power 1. Colors 11. 3 and 5. The sprite animations are definitely going to be different, but those are in different places. That was 4. You know what? Let's do this. 5. 6. 7. Whoops. Oh. And then this is the secret character. Kinoi. Spot. Magnet is 8, defense is 1. Colors are 13, 1, and 1. Frank. Next one is Beans. Little toe Beans. Defense power 1. Colors are 14, 2, and 2. I'm actually probably not even going to use some of these colors. I'm just trying. A lot of this stuff is probably redundant, but I'm just trying to, since I'm using old code, I don't know what's relying on what, so I'm just trying to be more complete than anything. Magnet is 8, defense is 2. Colors are 3, 5, and 1. Sarge. Magnet 8, defense power 2, colors are 4, 2, and 1. Alright. Now let's grab our walking animations. Do you have an idea of how to hide the secret character? Or is that, you know, secret and all? Well, I mean, it's like you'd have to look at the code to know it's there. You know it's there because you're looking at the code and you're watching me put it together. It's not really an issue otherwise. All right, let's take a look here. This is characters. We need globals. Where are my dogs at? Bark sprite. Load graphics. Local. I need this. Globals, which are local globals. I mean, as in how the player would unlock it, or is it supposed to just be something in the code? Oh, yeah. Last game, like the Poochie Survivors on Pico 8, it's the Konami code. Like, I think I have it hooked up. So, like, if I do up, up, down, down, left, right. Oops. Up, up, down, down, left, right, right. And then, yeah, see, it unlocks it because it crashed. Because it's still in progress, or like that's like all in progress stuff. But yeah, I had a little Konami code thing that would unlock it, but there was like other ways of unlocking other characters. I had a whole system in place where you would have to like do achievements or like complete certain runs a certain way or do certain things to unlock characters. So with that in place, you would just have like another function for unlocking a secret character or something or other. All right, so this, I need to offset it for the graphics file. And this is a little redundant, but it's just so that I understand what's going on. So we're gonna go this plus. So Picotron has graphics files, and there are different ways of interacting with them. So, for example, graphics 0.gfx. This sprite right here, it has an index of 0, 0, 0. And as you move to the right and down, the sprite index goes up, right? And then as you go off of this tab into the next tab, well, there's 64, and it continues all the way down to 256, or 255 rather, because we started at 0. So you have 256 sprites spread across 4 tabs in one graphics file. Now to draw a sprite in Picotron, you use the SPR command, and you give it an index, which would be like 5. Sprite 5 would be this one, this little patch of dirt. And then you would put it like at X coordinate, Y coordinate, and that would draw sprite 5 at X10 and Y10, right? To draw sprites from other graphics files, there's a couple different ways of doing it. You could do something like get sprite and then put in like a user data. You could do like fetch 1.gfx, and actually that would need to be a string because you're looking at a file. It would be like the graphics folder 1.gfx, and there's like some fancy stuff, the blah 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 blah. Or what you can do, what I do is the easier way, is that Picotron, whenever it loads, it scans your graphics folder for any, like right here. If we go to here, cartridge, graphics, it scans your graphics folder for any numbered graphics files. So dogs.gfx doesn't count. It's only going to use ones that are numbered. And what it's going to do is there is a global sprite index that Picotron uses. And it's going to take 0.gfx and scrub through every sprite inside of it and slot them starting at 0 and working up to 255. And then it's going to grab 1.gfx and it's going to take sprite 0 and slot it into the next one. So if graphics 0 graphics 0.gfx stopped at 255, then 1.gfx starts at 256. So 0, this is if I wanted to draw this sprite, even though it's sprite 0, it would be 256. And that would draw this one because it's the 0th sprite of 1.graphics file. And so once you get down to 255 on here, that's actually 512, or 511 rather. And then this one here, sprite 0, since it's a numbered sprite, that one's going to be 512. So to help with this and to make it easier for me, I don't mind Picotron doing a little extra math and a little extra calculations if it helps me read and understand things. So when I'm looking through here and I'm like, oh, sprite 0, sprite 2 and 3 and 2 and 3, while that's actually 256 and 257, I don't want to do that math, especially when it gets up into like 4 or whatever. So what I do is up at the top, I make a lobel, which is a global that is local to this file. So it only exists inside the characters.lua file. And what it is it's the graphics file index times 256. So if this was 0, then then that means this would be 0. But if I do 1, and then I come down here, then this animation is 256 plus 1, or plus 0. So it would be 256, which would be this sprite. Now the reason I do this is because I'm a little particular, like outside of like easy sprite numbers, right? Because I can use 0, 0, and 1, and 2, and 3. Sometimes I reorganize these, and I'll copy like what happens if I want a whole bunch of more dog sprites, right? And I end up making a jump, and I end up making a sprint, or I end up making a crawl animation, and then I want to push all these guys down, and say maybe I want to dedicate a whole tab to this dog here, right? So I got to copy these guys and move them over here and paste them right there. So that's the brown dog and that's the blue dog. But then there's not enough, so I got to put them into another one. And so I end up shuffling stuff around. So what happens if I end up moving all of flop sprites into 5.gfx? Well, I can just come up in here and say that this is 5. And now we're working with, anytime that we use this GFX, it's out of graphics file 5. And so if I move my sprites around to different GFX files, this helps me do the math, because I can just change it up here instead of having to change 256 to 513 or whatever the math is down here. I can just leave this as 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then change that sprite. Or that variable, rather. That being said, let's go ahead and pop these in here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have walking down, walking up, and sleeping. So the animation starts off with 0, 0, just because it's blank. That actually doesn't matter. We can leave this as 0, 0. And then we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's easy enough. So when we come down to spike, it starts at 8, so we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And this is 9, 11, and 13. Oops. I do that a lot. Alright, animations here. This is going to be 16. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 19, 21. This is a lot of duplicated code too. I'm doing this manually just because I want them to be chunks of data that you can move around, and that I can adjust later. I could probably generate all of this with like a little tool or whatever, but it's okay. Spot. (24 to 29). 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 28, 29. Tedium builds character, or whatever the turtle said. I don't know about that. Patience is a virtue, though. This is probably killing a lot of people Like if anybody's watching this that uses like Emacs or like Vim or something like that, it's probably killing them. Frank. Frank starts at 32 to 37. 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. I did say Emacs. I never used any of those except for one time when I opened Vim and then like couldn't figure out how to close it, so I just restarted my computer. But don't they have like some fancy stuff where it's like you can like multi-select a row and then like type some function thing command and then type 1 and it'll like insert a 1 into each of them, and it's like really great for this kind of stuff of like data entry manipulation and stuff. 40, 42, 44. Isn't it something like that? Maybe it's not Emacs. $48, 49, 50, 52. I'm sure it can, but I don't know how. I'm still learning the basics. I gotcha. Is Emacs the one that they joke about? It like it's an operating system in and of itself. You want this color scheme for your editor, like the Picotron one. 56. 58. Oh, who's the guy that wrote New? Like Linus Torvalds, he's the one who wrote the Linux kernel. But then there was another guy. I can't think of his name. I can picture him. Big guy with a beard, super long hair, really crunchy looking. Really jolly looking. But like, Stallman, yeah! Yeah, isn't he the one who made Emacs? Richard Stallman, right? Yeah, I won't Google it now. I think he did. Because it was just like, you know, it's like turbo nerds like that are like really, really elite of their class and like make all that stuff. It's like, I'm gonna make my own tool. That's as configurable and as detailed and as nerdy as possible to do all of the things that I want to do. Yeah, no, I get that. It's like it's not really an editor. It's like it's like an operating system almost. It's like an editor equivalent of like a desktop environment. Okay, all right. I think that's it for data. So now when we load our character, we're going to take a dog and a character index, which means we're going to pull a number. So that means we're going to have let's see. We could just list out all of the things. We could just say like dog.name equals, well, actually we'll need to pull the character index first. So we'll say local char equals characters. Actually, let's just do character. Character index. And so that's going to load this table into char. And so we could say dog.name equals char.name. And we could just do it like that. We could do like name, item, HP, blah, 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 blah. We could do that. But I think there may be a more elegant name. Like a way to do this. You write code to have Emacs do stuff. You write code to have Picotron to do stuff. Can Picotron access files outside Picotron? Maybe I'll just use Picotron as my editor. Yes and no. It doesn't have direct host access, so it's not like you can access random files. But there is a host folder. So like if you right click and mount host desktop, well, great, I clicked on it, and so now it's going to take a second to populate. But what this is going to do is this is going to, why is there, oh, that's Pico 8. It's like a little bar on the side of my stream. Weird. I have a ton of stuff in this folder. But what it's going to do is it mounts a folder on your desktop, and then you can just drag and drop stuff into it on either side. So it's a great way of like dragging stuff from your desktop into it, or dragging stuff from Picotron out to your desktop. There, you do have direct access to the Picotron drive file from your computer, so it's like outside going in access, but there isn't any inside going out access. Dang, this thing takes such a long time to render because I have bajillions of stuff. I need to like move stuff in this folder into like subfolders. It's because every time you record a GIF or a screenshot or anything like that, it dumps it into this folder. So it's probably trying to parse like 600 GIFs in there, because I never delete them. I like to keep the history of GIFs as I work on projects, because it's fun to look back at how my code used to look and how the project used to look during the alpha and beta phases and stuff. It will eventually catch up. I know it's gonna just kind of stick here. It's why are you doing this? It takes so long. Come on. I don't know why it takes so long. Actually, I do. I'm just complaining. Sorry about complaining so much. It's all your fault. It's all your fart. It's all your fault, sparkly dark matter. 73. Ugh. See, the mouse moved. It actually is thinking. Watch, this is gonna like cause another memory leak and crash my whole streaming setup. What an El Boom Ray. Well, since we can't do anything at the moment, let's put our noodles to use. Let's think for a second. So I could for loop through the character table. Hey, there we go. Yeah, so like that's a folder on my desktop. Cool, that was worth it. Awesome. I could for loop it and see if there is a key. Oh, no. I would want to do a KV pairs, not in all. In I pairs? No, not I pairs, because we're not dealing with indexed stuff. Pairs. Pairs and table. Used in for loops to iterate over a table, providing both the key and value for each item. Unlike all pairs, iterates over every item, regardless of indexing scheme. Order is not guaranteed. So yeah, it's not going to guarantee the order, but it gives you both the key and the pair. So what we want to do is we want to say for key variable in pairs do. And we're going to give it a table. And we're going to say the character. All right, so what this is going to do, we're going to load this table, not the characters table. We're going to load this table, a character. Oops, I need to pull that out. It's going to pull this. So we're going to give it, we're grabbing the index. We're going to grab character index, dump it into this char table. And then we're going to say, we're going to run through the char table, and on each iteration, we're going to be able to use this key and variable, local variables. And the key is going to be this side, and the variable is going to be this side. So what we can do is we can say, dog. Hold on. I'm trying to remember how to get the key, because we need to say like, we'll say dog dot key equals var. It's something like that, where it's like we grab the key that matches dog. We might need to iterate. We might need to do a for loop through dog as well. But we just want the keys. So we could say for dk dv in pairs dog do. Dog do. So, yeah, okay, so if we did this, then we could say that the dog key, we could say dog key we're not going to need too much, so we're just going to just spell it out. That doesn't look right. We'll have to do an if statement. We'll have to say if dog key equals key. That way if they match, then dog key equals variable. All right, so let's march through this real quick. So we're going to parse through the char table one key at a time, and we're going to grab the key and the variable. So the name here, and then the variable what it's set to. And so we don't know the order. We're just going to grab one at random, but we're going to go through all of them. So the first one gets grabbed. Now we're in here. Then we're going to do another loop inside here, and we're going to say we're going to go through this dog that we have, which is a player, and we're going to grab for each entry, we're going to grab a dog key and a dog variable. And this is going to be grabbing from this table here. So when we make a new dog, we have this table. So it's gonna look at N and sprite. It's gonna look at X. It's gonna look at width. It's gonna look at flip. It's going to pull every single key. And so we're going to take that dog key. We're going to take N and X and width. And we're going to say, does it equal the current key? So really, we should actually, it would read better if we did it like this. So we're looking for this key, and we're going to iterate through the dogs, and we're going to say if our key from our character equals the current dog. So we're gonna zip through the dog, and if it's like, so the first one's going to be N. So if name, we're going to have like character.name. Does that equal dog.n? No, it doesn't, because we have name and we have N. Then the next one is going to be name and X. Nope. Name and width. Nope. Name and bark. Nope. Name and name. Yep. And if that's the case, then we're going to set the dog name to our character's name. And let's actually, since we don't need to do too much, I like to keep them short if it's if you're not going to be doing too much. All right, so then we have the character key, the name, character name equal is dog name, so that we set the dog name to whatever the character's name is set to, because that's the character the name variable. And then we loop it again. Then we go to the next one. We go item. Does the character item equal the dog item? Nope, this is X. Item width, item height, item. Yes, it does. So we set the dog's item to the character variable, the item variable. And that should loop through both of those tables and load them into there, unless I mess something up syntax-wise. So let's trust that that works. And let's come back here. Name is just name there, so we can test with that. Now, when we got to load one of these. So right now we're spawning the dog, and then we can load character dog1 with index 1. So that means if we go like this, it doesn't look different, but if we print dog1.name, if it says flops, then it did it correctly. Why does it say name? Okay, it's not working correct. Because the default name is name, and the default item is 0, and it was supposed to dump flops and 1 in there. All right, so something about this isn't working. Let's double check the logic. Dog. Actually, you know what? Let's test it again, but with a different number. Let's put number 2 in here. Okay, so it's not changing the sprite. What if we do dog 2? Okay, so that's pointing to the right thing because we don't have a dog 2 yet. We just have one player. Index, it's pulling character. Index there. All right, so we have our index, character index. Let's do some assertions. Assert false, and then let's do. This should be a table. Yep, and we have a table number there. Let's do char.name spike. All right, because that's pulling it from here. If we do this, it should be flops. Okay, so we know that it is pulling the correct character information. It's pulling the data out of here. Then let's do let's do an assert here. If the character and the dog matches at all, so maybe there's a problem with this logic. Maybe this doesn't adequately check the 2 of them. So let's see if any of them even match at all. Okay, something is matching. Now let's see what's matching when we can do that by doing both of these together. We'll do, we can use a string combiner operator. Nope, like this. And then we'll put a dash in between them. So it's going to print whatever is in here, and then a dash, and then whatever's in here. Walk speed and walk speed. Okay, so it's getting them. So dog key equals character variable. Maybe we have some key mismatches? Name. And name. Well, we know walk speed is doing something. Let's make walk speed 100. And then let's come down here. Let's not load a character. And then let's print dog 1's walk speed. Was it an underscore? Yes. Walk speed. That should say 100. Okay, it does. And if we come in here, and we are going to load a character, and the walk speed is 1. If we run this, and we do that, it's it still says 100. So... Oh, I understand. We're not setting a dog... Wait, no. Maybe it needs to be dog.dog key. Like maybe dog key is just the text. Let's try that. Okay. And then if we do name. Wait, no. No, it's not supposed to be 100. It's supposed to be 1. So that's not it either. Trying to remember how to do this. You know, I don't want to fight against this too much because it feels like something that I just need to like learn from the manual. So let's ask Grok real quick. I'm trying to compare to, well, I'm trying to merge. Sometimes actually like writing out a prompt like this for Grok forces you to articulate and explain the problem, and a lot of times I'll like type it out and it kind of works like a rubber ducky, and then I'm just like, oh wait, no, now I know what to do. I'm trying to merge two tables together by iterating through both of them. And then writing the value of one into the key of another. It's not working though. Can you explain what's going on? What I'm missing? You're running into a classic Lua gotcha here. You're using the wrong syntax when trying to assign to a dynamic key. This line is the problem. Okay, I mean, I figured that's the line's the problem. And syntax is the bane of my existence, so that doesn't surprise me. In Lua, dog.dog key does not mean the field in dog, whose name is stored in the variable dog key. Okay, well, that's why I was assuming it was. So if that's not how it works, then that's how it works. Lua instead interprets dog key as a literal field named dog key. Okay. It thinks you wrote dog.dog key. Interesting. So you're always writing to a field literally named dog key or just dog key. Okay, so if that's the case, what if I type in... Wait, I have an underscore. Yep. It actually has data in it. That's funny. Okay, well that's what's happening. So you're always writing to a field named donkey or just donkey. If you remove the underscore, it probably doesn't exist indefinitely is what you want. Okay. The correct way to assign a dynamic key, you need a bracket notation. Oh, yeah. That's right. Because, yeah, okay. Because you can put the, like, the named variable or the named keys inside of brackets. The dot notation here is like shorthand for it. Normally I only use the brackets for indexed ones, like 1 or whatever, but you can use them. And what that does is it says, hey, we're looking for an index of this table and then of this name. Yeah, okay. Okay. See, that's Grok's good. That's helpful. Yeah, see, I don't need your fixed thing. I just needed to understand. But you can make it much simpler. Oh, let's learn. First of all, let's do it this way. And so if we do name, hey, there's flops. And that means that if we come here and we change this to 2, we got different sprites, baby. And if we go to 6, we got the sprites, baby. Nice. All right. So it worked. I just needed the syntax to be right. Ooh, but you can make this much simpler. For your double loop is doing a lot of unnecessary work. I figured as much. You're basically saying for every key in the template, look at every key in the dog, and if they match, copy. I mean, that's literally what I was trying to do. Since you're allowed to read directly from the character, the template, you can just do this instead. Load for KV in pairs. Character do. Oh, if dog key does not equal nil, then, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, so essentially, since now we know about the checking of an index, yeah, we don't have to specify them now. So we can say if the dog key exists, so if it's not nil, doesn't equal nil, because we're gonna take the first key like name, or yeah, and we'll make sure it exists. If it's not nil, then we set the dog key. Oops. It's going to equal that value. Yeah, that's a lot better. So if for key value in pairs, we're going to check through all the key value pairs. We're going to check if a key in the dog table exists, and if it does, we're going to write the value to it. Except we just broke something. Let me double check. Key value in pairs, character. Dog key. Not equal nil. Dog key equals value. Attempt to perform arithmetic on nil value walk speed. I could probably just say if dog key value. Why is it not working? I could probably actually also just do this. I just wouldn't have extra protection. Why? Or if you want to copy all fields from the template to dog, overwrite even if they don't exist before. That's probably better. Why is this not working though? Because like it's not populating the walk speed. Or as a one-liner. Wow, you're getting really crazy there. Like, slow your roll, Grok. I want one that actually works, though. What's going on with this, though? Why is that not awaken? Dog and index. Char equals character index. Key var. In pairs. Character table. Equals value. Oh, value. Var. There it goes. And if I set this to 6. Yep. Sweet! Alright. Yeah, that's a lot cleaner. I like that. Alright, so we got character loading. Cool. Let's go to our design doc. We have stats. Do we have character loading in here? Let's check and see if we fixed anything. Bark powers, scene switching, play timer, game over, speed bar upgrades, save and load, setting scenes, rebind keys, weapons, items. No. So let's do character loading. All right. Hey, we almost have like the player thing pretty much working. Enemy collision, player collision. I think next, I want to do scene switching. I want to do scene switching, and I want to get enemy spawning and attack spawning. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do next. All right, well, cool beans. I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight. We went a little bit over. It's 1 o'clock my time. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Y'all be good, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget to like me on YouTube and comment and stuff like that. Subscribe, favorite, do all the things. Follow me on Twitch. Turn on your notifications so you can catch me next time. I don't have a schedule, so if you don't turn on your notifications, you're not going to know when the next time I'm on. So do the things. Follow me on X. If you're cool, follow me on Rumble. Follow me on Kick. I don't know why, but I'm streaming to those two just in case you like them. If you're over there, just talk. Say hi. You can do all the things. You could also come over to Twitch. I don't care. Just watch me wherever.